What's going on, Alabama fans? Chris Daughtery here for the Alabama Football Report. The Crimson Tide yesterday squeaked out a win and survived against South Carolina in a defensive effort that let's just be honest, it is not going to cut it going down the road. Next week, you're playing Tennessee, and really as bad as they also looked last night against Florida, you better be sure that they're going to come out next week and play you with, the most intensity that you have seen from an offense so far this season. And it's going to be a real problem because right now you're giving up 342 yards per game on the defensive side of the ball, ranking 55th overall in FBS right now. So Alabama's defense has got to do a whole lot better. So instead today, we're not going to do a full overreaction Sunday like normal. I'm just going to point out some in my opinion, some glaringly obvious problems with Alabama's defense so far this year and kind of how they're utilizing them. But first, before we get into the show today, just go ahead and like the video for me right now. Look, at the end of the day, a win is a win. The SEC is the toughest conference in college football, no doubt about it. A couple weeks ago, you had Kentucky go out there and almost beat Georgia. South Carolina beat the crap out of Kentucky. You got Florida, taking Tennessee to overtime last night. There's a lot of wild games so far this year in the SEC, and yesterday was just another one. And then you also had Vandy go out there and beat Kentucky with a very good defense on the road at Kentucky. So, look, let's just enjoy it. We can nitpick. We can talk about different things. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. So go ahead and like today's video for me right now. Defensive problem number one, in my opinion. I don't think they're utilizing some of these Wolves, the guys at that outside linebacker position really as they should. Yesterday, Quandarius Robinson played 27 snaps. Quay Russaw played 19 snaps in that game. And really, most of those snaps were coming on, second and 14, third and 15. Those obvious pass downs to even a third grader. I think, they could be utilized more than they have so far. 3rd and 9, get those guys out there on the field as well. Because, on those types of plays, teams are going out there and they're trying to get the ball out quick on you and be able to, force some missed tackles, especially from your linebackers. We'll talk about some of those missed tackles in a little bit on today's show. But then you also have different times where you are putting those guys out on the field and you're immediately just dropping them back into coverage. That is the same thing that we crucified Pete Golding a couple years ago for dropping Will Anderson in coverage so much. So, they've got to utilize these Wolves because Quandarius Robinson, when he is out there on the field, he is one of the better players on defense for you. Same with Quay Russaw as well. They are getting pressure to the quarterback, but it's the fact that they're not really getting them out there on the field, I think, as much as they should anyways, that I think is really hindering this Alabama defense. So grade your confidence level for me right now in Alabama's defense. I'm sure it's not very high. It's definitely not very high for me either. Let me know in the comments section, scale it for me 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. It's the pinned comment of today's video. So that ad's going to play here on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Go down there and let me know your confidence level in Alabama's defense. Defensive problem number 2. I don't think they are really utilizing this defensive line very well either. You've got 2 glorified defensive ends in LT Overton and Jamarian Latham out there. And I like both of those players. I like both of those guys. But in my opinion, I think you also have to get that wolf on the field with those guys as well. Even if there's 2 guys out there, you got both guys, LT Overton and Jamarian Latham out there. You put a 5th guy out there, man. Put, Quandarius Robinson. Put Quay Russaw if it's a rundown. He's a little bit bigger guy. I think he plays the run a little bit better than Q-Rob out there. There was one time, or really there was multiple times, where you had LT Overton standing up. And I have no problem with having LT Overton standing up or Jamarian Latham standing up. But when they're playing 2 yards off the line of scrimmage, 3 yards off the line of scrimmage, Why are we doing that? I mean, at the end of the day, that's just getting you blown off the line. And when you're already 2 yards off the line of scrimmage, and they are running, a run right at you, that's allowing the tackles or the guards to get out there and push you even further down the field. And if you're so lucky enough to be able to go out there and make the play, you're making the play 5-6 yards downfield. Man, at the end of the day, this defensive line is just not working out. And it's not a talent issue. It's an issue with the scheme, and it's an issue with Kane Wommack and how they are using these guys. Tim Smith did have a good game yesterday. You didn't see much of Tim Keenan out there to a certain extent. They had him off the field more often. You saw a lot of Damon Payne yesterday. And I'm going to have to look at some of the, advanced stats to really see how he did out there. But look, man, there's a definite issue with this defensive line right now. You're giving up way too many yards on the ground. And despite what a lot of people think with Tennessee and their high-powered offense, they love to run the ball a lot. You see a lot of those high scores, and you think Nico Iamaleya is going out there and, throwing for 300-400 yards. That really just isn't the case. And I have a, bad feeling that Tennessee's going to go out there next week and run all over you if you don't make some kind of adjustment. Today's show is presented by Game Time. Game Time has a new feature now called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only the incredible deals on great seats so you guys don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. It's just curation that makes it easier to save more on sports. If you want to go to a concert, they've got tickets for that. Stand-up comedy shows. I love going and seeing stand-up, and I always buy my tickets with Game Time. They've also got tickets to see theater as well. Prices on the Game Time app go down the closer you get to the start of the event. Game Time has killer last-minute deals. They have all-in prices, views from your seat, and the lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time even has ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Create an account and redeem promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Check out GameTime.co for last-minute tickets. Terms do apply, but again, create an account and redeem promo code CHATSPORTS at CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase. That link will be in the comment section and the description of today's video. Download Game Time today, because what time is it? It's game time. All right, defensive problem number 3 that was just very, very glaring yesterday during that game was the fact that your linebackers just really keep getting cooked in coverage. We talked about it during our matchups to watch going up into that game and our keys to victory. The linebackers have to play better. Well, yesterday, Lenora Sellers was 11 for 12 when targeting those linebackers for you. And I'll be honest, I really don't know what the solution is. I don't know if that specifically is a Kane Wommack problem or if at the end of the day the linebackers just have to play better. But at the end of the day, the job of the defensive coordinator is to put your players in the best position that they possibly can. And it's really weird, man. I just don't understand how they're utilizing some of these guys. We literally yesterday lined up Jihaad Campbell at corner on a 3rd and 3. Why? I just don't get that. Now, Alabama, was able to get off the field on that 3rd and 3. I will give, the defense credit for that. They didn't go at Jihaad Campbell. But if you watch the actual play, the guy that he was covering was open for a first down, and Lenora Sellers stepped up in the pocket right into some pressure. So, there's a lot of things that are wrong right now with these linebackers, including the fact that they just cannot make a tackle, at certain times, which is kind of crazy because both, Deontae, Lawson, and Jihaad Campbell are leading the team in tackles, but when they are specifically getting targeted through the air, they can't finish a play and they can't finish a tackle, and that's why a lot of these drives continue, to get extended for, opposing offenses. Alabama overall yesterday, you look at the box score, and I'm just going to rant on this for just a second. They were, 7 for 15, I think, on 3rd downs. but 5 of those third downs opportunity or conversions came on one drive. So throughout the rest of the game, they were pretty solid on third down. But you also gave up another long bomb touchdown on a 4th and 9. That just simply cannot happen. Now, you can maybe credit, South Carolina with a good scheme, a good play on that play. But, man, when it's 4th and 9, we gave up the 4th and 1 38-yard touchdown pass to Vanderbilt last year. Alabama's got to be able to get off the field in those situations. And that is a coaching thing, in my opinion. So yesterday, during our Alabama versus South Carolina watch party, we hit 20,000 subscribers, and I appreciate every single person who has subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report. We'll be going live for every single game for this season, so do not miss out. Hit that sub button for me right now. Defensive problem number 4 here. Look, man, we are just missing way too many tackles. We are missing way too many tackles right now. And it is just extremely glaring. Alabama yesterday missed a total of 11 tackles. Keon Sabb missed 2. Deontae Lawson missed 3. Justin Jefferson missed 2. And they're coming in these critical moments, too. We talk about those third downs, talk about those 4th down opportunities, and they're just not able to get off the field, even when the coaching staff puts them in the opportunity to be able to get off the field. And, I don't know if they're teaching tackling different. There was one time yesterday, and they missed 11 tackles per the PFF stats, but that doesn't even count the amount of bad angles that Alabama took yesterday. I saw one play where it was a swing pass to the outside. Malachi Moore had it cut off beautifully and then just didn't finish the play. Now, look, I know, we don't like to talk about Caleb Downs here because he transferred to Ohio State, and it rubbed a lot of us the wrong way. But, man, it was so refreshing last year to see our safety come downfield and make a hit at the line of scrimmage. You're not really getting that out of Malachi Moore and Keon Sabb right now. And, look, those guys, frankly, since the first game of the season, have not played, their best football. They've really been timid, I think, and they're not going out there, just trying to hit people and take people's heads off, and that's really what I want from my safeties. You remember Tony Brown? Now, he played, some different positions, in the defensive backfield, but that guy was a headhunter. I do not think right now in our cornerbacks with our safeties, really the only headhunter I think that's in our defensive backfield right now is Devontae Smith. He's really the only guy going out there really fighting through blocks and trying to knock people's helmets off. So, I think we have a real, soft kind of problem, on the defensive side of the ball, especially with those defensive backs. So let me know, guys, there have been a lot of discussion about this topic right here. Do you guys think Kane Wommack is officially on the hot seat after just a couple of games throughout the season? Let me know. I think Alabama's playing way softer on defense than, we're used to. And I'm not even trying to bring up Nick Saban here. It's a mentality thing at the end of the day. So let me know in the comments section. Do you think Kane Wommack is on the hot seat? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Defensive problem number 5 here. Look, man, these guys just are not finishing. They just do not finish. You saw at the end of the half last week, South Carolina had the ball with just a couple of minutes left. I think there was like a minute and 40 seconds left, and they still had 0 points on the clock. They ended that half with 12 points, or on the clock, on the scoreboard. They ended that half with 12 points on the scoreboard. Now, you have to consider the fact that, Jalen Milroe gave up the safety. He also threw the pick, which set them up in great field position to get that last-second field goal. But still, with a minute and 43 seconds, on the clock, South Carolina's got the ball. They're driving down the field. They still have no points. They just drove right down the field on you and ended up scoring. And then at the end of the game, you think Alabama's, set up in pretty good spot to really ice this game out. They just go right down the damn field and score on you, and it was a great throw and a great catch at the end of the game there. That toe tap in the front left-hand corner of the end zone. But, man, it's too easy right now for opposing offenses to just go right down the field on you in those critical moments. And then, Alabama isn't able to get the onside kick. And so that sets South Carolina up at the 49-yard line. And really, they're kind of moving the ball on you. And then for whatever reason, Lenora Sellers just goes out there and, throws probably the worst ball I've ever seen in my life to Damani Jackson. And he missed a lot of throws as well yesterday. You got burnt early in the game on a scramble play that really, if he hits the wide receiver in stride, it's probably a touchdown. He misses the 2-point conversion as well, just throws it out of the back of the end zone. Another one of the worst throws I've ever seen in my life. So, South Carolina, at the end of the day, if they just made a couple more plays, if they were able to make a couple more throws, you're coming out of that game yesterday with a loss as well. So, there's a lot of issues right now with Alabama's defense. Kane Wommack has got to get something. They've got to switch something up. They've got to utilize some of these guys a little bit differently and get some of your best players on the field, because Quandarius Robinson needs to be on the field more than he is right now. I thought Jaheim Otis should have been on the field more than he was before, he stepped away from the team. It's been a real issue so far this year. And as of right now, I don't think Kane Wommack is on the hot seat. He's not going to get fired mid-season. That's just not how, Alabama rolls at the end of the day. But towards the end of the season, man, if this defense keeps playing like they are, that seat might be getting hot for Kane Wommack towards the end of the year.